Sorry about that, guys. There's a lot of information.
Yeah, there is.
I thought when I went to Zen, I was like. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'll be discussing the ancient philosophy of Zen. Zen itself isn't a religion, rather, as one would assume, it's a train of thought to obtain true awakening within the self through rigorous meditation and training by a Zen teacher or master. Zen cannot be described in words, it must be experienced. But first, let's experience a brief background of what Zen is so we can get an idea of it. It comes from the Mahayana Buddhist culture, which originated in China during the Tang Dynasty between 619 through 907 CE. Zen was strongly influenced by Taoism or non-dualism, the belief that good and evil don't exist separately, rather all is in one. Think yin and yang as well, if you're familiar with that, in Northeast Korea. It spread to Vietnam, Northeast Korea, and Japan, where it became known as Japanese Zen. According to Zen Buddhism.net, Zen rejects the formal dogma of Theravada Buddhism, where only Buddha and practicing male monks can achieve Buddhahood. Basically, Zen states that anyone, male, female, non-creature alike, can attain Buddhahood or bliss nirvana within a single lifetime and become a Zen teacher themselves to students. The Bodhisattva ideal came from the Mahayana Buddhist origin, which represents 53.2% of the world's practicing population of Buddhists today, as of 2010, according to the World Encyclopedia, or New World Encyclopedia. The word Bodhisattva is a Sanskrit meaning for awakened truth or enlightened being, and refers to the Mahayana Buddhist religion as well, and is distinct of the Mahayana Buddhist beliefs, as everyone can attain savior-like qualities. Their motivation is to seek aid to others than themselves, to seek the Bodhisattva path, and to find truth in emptiness, or the sunyata. Zen's authoritative introduction to origins and nature can be traced back to the records of the transmission of the lamp, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica, written in 1004 by a Chinese Buddhist monk named Dunyan. Secondly, what are the Zen practices? Well, it starts with observing the breath, basically in a lotus, half lotus, Burmese position, and breathing properly. Zazen meaning sitting, and Za sitting, and Zen meditation. Observing the mind, clearing the mind of all thought, intensive group meditation and chanting, insight between student and master, as well as lay services. Thirdly, let's look at recognized Zen schools. We have the Rinzai school, which is the Japanese line of school from the Chinese Lin Jin school, which existed in the Tang Dynasty. We also have the Soto school, which was also another Japanese line that originated from the Tang Dynasty as well. And finally, the Sanbo Kyodan, which is a combination of Soto and Rinzai. Finally, how does Zen compare and contrast with Western religions as well as Theravada Buddhism? To quote Gautama Buddha, "No one saves us but ourselves, no one can and no one may, we ourselves must walk the path." And in essence, that defines Zen to me. He was a man, he lived and died, he was not a god. That's what separates Mahayana from Theravada. As well as everyone else being allowed to practice, including females and becoming masters. That's the two primary differences. Zen is, according to ZenBuddhism.net, first and foremost a practice that is uninterrupted, transmitted from master to disciple, and goes back to Siddhartha Gautama, which is the Buddha. So it does relate to Theravada because there is a master-student training in between in this as well. However, only Buddha and male monks could attain the status of Bodhisattva and enter into their own path and then bring it back to teach others. And that is what separates these two. We can now see how the evolution of Buddhism has reflected itself in Zen teachings and practices. Ultimately, when viewing the religion, we can see there are many options. Zen isn't necessarily grouped into a religion. Although the vast majority considers Zen Buddhism to be a recognized religion, it is more of a state of mind and an attempt to attain Satchi Ananda, which is Sanskrit for consciousness, awareness, and bliss. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and one other thing, I have this pamphlet to hand around. It's a